Hello friends, I am Amjad Umar Ranja with Amjad Umar Ranja YouTube channel. We are going to discuss about homeostasis. Homeostasis and different terms pertaining or about homeostasis. For example, the osmoregulation, the thermoregulation, the excretion and most susceptible components of the body of living organisms. Then we will discuss the physical control system, the biological control system, and at the end of this topic we will discuss what is feedback mechanism, what is positive feedback, what is negative feedback. So first topic of today is what is homeostasis. What is homeostasis? The word homeostasis is made up of two words. The first one is homeo, which means same. The second word is stasis, which means stand. So the literal meaning of the word homeostasis is same stand. The word homeostasis means same stand. This term was first introduced by Walter Cannon. Walter Cannon gave this term the homeostasis for the first time. He was an American scientist. So what is homeostasis? Actually, the living organisms have some constant or some internal changes, internal conditions of the body are kept at constant or tolerable range. The environment fluctuates, the environmental conditions continuously fluctuates or changes, but the organisms keep their internal conditions of the body at some constant level. They maintain their internal conditions at some same stand. This is what is called homeostasis. First we will see the definition of homeostasis. We can define the word homeostasis as the protection of internal conditions of living organisms from the harms of fluctuations in external environment. The protection of internal environment from the harms of fluctuations in external environment. Actually, in homeostasis, the living organisms keep their internal conditions at constant. They do not let those internal conditions to change no matter the how the environmental changes are fluctuating, what wider range of changes are being taken place out of the living organisms. Their internal conditions are kept at constant. Different examples of homeostasis can be put. For example, first thing, which is osmoregulation. First example of homeostasis can be osmoregulation. The word osmo means to push and the word regulation means to maintain. What is osmoregulation? The organisms keep their internal osmotic conditions, osmotic state at constant. This is what is called osmoregulation. Actually, what is the definition of osmoregulation? To maintain the solutes at tolerable range. This is that range which organisms can tolerate, which organisms can bear. So to maintain the solutes at tolerable range and gain and loss of water. Due to this solutes concentration, gain and loss of water is called as osmoregulation. Very important thing which is needed to be mentioned over here. The organisms maintain the solutes level inside their cells. The water itself is maintained. How? For example, the organisms or the animals which are living inside marine water, their water of the body, the water of the cells remove itself because the external environment have greater amount of solutes, and the animals living in freshwater bodies, the water gets entry into the cells. Why? Because the internal environment of the cells, which is the cytosol, is more concentrated, is bearing more solutes. So the animals in osmoregulation maintains solutes, not water. Water is maintained by itself. When the solutes are maintained, the water gets maintained. So this is the first example of homeostasis, which is the osmoregulation. The second example is excretion. What is excretion? Actually, metabolism takes place in the living organisms. A lot of substances are the byproducts of this metabolism. Some of them are toxic for the bodies of living organisms, which are not needed in the bodies of living organisms. Those are called as toxic substances. Those are called as waste products, and they are necessary to be removed from the body. So the process which is called as excretion is the removal or elimination of metabolic waste. Elimination of metabolic waste, especially the nitrogenous waste. Metabolic waste mean all kinds of waste, especially the nitrogenous waste. Especially nitrogenous waste from the body of living organisms is called as excretion. How excretion is an example of homeostasis? When excretion takes place, the metabolic waste, which is an extra substance, which is a toxic substance, which is not needed in the blood, is removed, and the homeostatic conditions, the homeostatic level of the blood is maintained. The composition remains constant by the process of excretion. What are the nitrogenous wastes? In the bodies of living organisms, different chemical substances like ammonia, urea, uric acid are being produced. These are called as the nitrogenous waste, and they are important to be removed from the body because they are toxic. So this is what is called as excretion. The third example, which can be quoted as the example of homeostasis, is thermoregulation. The word therm mean heat, the word therm mean temperature, and regulation mean to maintain. To maintain the internal temperature of the body of living organisms at a tolerable range is called as thermoregulation. I spoke the word tolerable range instead of at constant level because these changes are kept at tolerable range, not kept as at constant level. Why tolerable range? This is that range of the temperature which can be easily tolerated, which is tolerable for the living organisms. For example, the temperature in human body is from 36.1 degrees centigrade up to 37.8 degrees centigrade. This is the tolerable range of the temperature in human's body. So this temperature is kept at a tolerable range. Temperature above than this in environment, many times the temperature gets high, and in environment the temperatures become cool, but the temperature of the internal temperature of the body is kept at this range. This is that range which is tolerable for the cells of human body. So this is what is called as thermoregulation. To regulate the temperature, to maintain the temperature at a tolerable range is called as thermoregulation. Next, what are the most susceptible components of the body of living organisms? The most susceptible components. What is meant by most susceptible components? Most susceptible components are those components which are extremely important components and which are highly needed to be kept at tolerable range. They should not increase, they should not decrease from that tolerable range. So three are the most susceptible components. One is the water. The water concentration in the body should be kept at homeostatic level. Second thing is salts. The salts concentration, for example the sugar in the blood, the glucose in the blood, should be kept at constant level. And third most susceptible component of the body of living organisms is temperature. The temperature should also be kept at tolerable range. These are the three substances, these are three components of the body of living organisms which are highly needed to be kept at tolerable range. Next, we are talking about homeostasis. So what is the importance of homeostasis? What is the importance of homeostasis? We can we can talk about two different important points, importances of homeostasis. First one is the internal conditions, the internal states of living organisms are kept at constant, are kept at narrow range, are not allowed to be changed. For example, temperature in the environment is continuously changing. In summer, temperature is high, but the internal temperature of the body of living organisms is kept in narrow range. For example, from 36.1 to 37.8 degrees centigrade. In winter, the temperature gets cool, but the internal temperature of the body of living organisms is again kept at that tolerable range. The second importance of homeostasis can be called as, this is the central requirement of living organisms. Central requirement of living organisms. Living organisms live on land. Living organisms live in freshwater bodies, in marine water, in marine environment. The homeostasis is the central requirement for them. It is important for them to keep their internal conditions at tolerable range. If they do not keep those internal states, internal conditions of the body at constant or at tolerable range, it becomes difficult for them to survive. So when they try to keep their internal conditions at constant, they adapt with their environment. Adaptations come. What are adaptations? The changes to meet requirements. For example, when temperature become high in the summer season, animals are needed to produce mechanisms, to develop mechanism to combat that increased temperature. And again, when the temperature decrease in the winter season, animals are needed to develop mechanisms to compete that low temperature, because they have to keep their internal temperature at constant. When these adaptations arise, these adaptations push the organisms or animals to evolve. So this they contribute, means the homeostasis contribute in the process of evolution. Next, how animals keep their internal conditions at constant level. How animals keep their internal conditions at tolerable range. They have different control systems. They have different control systems. We are talking about control systems now. To understand, these are called as biological control systems. Why? Because they are found in the body of living organisms. Biological control systems. These control systems are found in the bodies of living organisms. So they are being called as biological control systems. The second can be, for example, we can understand this biological control system with an example, which is the physical control system. The control system of some non-living type. We can understand the biological control system by taking an example of physical control system. The physical control system is the air conditioner, the AC. Room is a physical system. Room is a non-living system. We have an AC in the room. We set the temperature of the AC at 20 degrees centigrade. This 20 degrees centigrade temperature is the set point. We have a set point. When there is a thermometer in the AC, thermometer is called as sensor. Thermometer is called as sensor. It sends the temperature of the room. We want the temperature of the room to be 20 degrees centigrade. The thermometer is the sensor receptor which detect the temperature of the surrounding. If temperature of the surrounding is above than 20 degrees centigrade, this sensor will sense or detect the temperature and will send signal to the control center. The second component of physical control system is the control center, which is the main important switch which detect the change in the external environment and send a signal towards effector. What are these effectors? In ACs, in the dual ACs, which can heat up the room, which can cool the room, these effectors, for example, the temperature is above than 20 degrees centigrade, sensors will sense or detect, they will send the signal towards control center. Control centers will ask the effectors to turn on the cooling system of the AC. Cooling system will be on and the temperature of the room will start bringing towards 20 degrees centigrade. This is a physical control system. Now we can understand the biological control system which is in the bodies of living organisms. The biological control system works or functions just like the physical control system. There are sensors which are also called as receptors in the bodies, in the skins of animals. These receptors, these sensors detect the change in the external environment. Their function is to detect the change in the external environment. This change, this stimulus is sent to the control center. Control center is actually the hypothalamus, the part of brain which is also called as major coordination center. Why this is called as major coordination center, we'll talk about it later on. So the detected change is sent towards the control center. Control center analyze the change and send signals towards the effectors. In human body, effectors are actually muscles or glands. Muscles and glands are called as effectors. According to the detected change, the control center activates effectors, either muscles or glands, to combat, to compete, to fight against the change in the external environment, to keep the conditions of the body at set point. The set point in human body is 37 degrees centigrade. This is the temperature in hypothalamus. In hypothalamus, 37 degrees centigrade is the set point. If the temperature is higher than it, the effectors will turn on the sweat glands. Sweat glands will start producing the sweat. When sweat will perspire or evaporate, the cooling effect will be gained and the temperature will be brought at 37 degrees centigrade. And if the external temperature is less than 37 degrees centigrade, as in winter season, the control center will activate the muscles. Muscles will start shivering. They will start contracting. With the contraction or shivering of skeletal muscles, the heat will be produced and the temperature will be brought at normal or set point. This is what is called as physical control system and biological control system. We'll see a figure to understand this mechanism in more appropriate way. For example, this is the body of a living organism. This is the body of an animal. This is the integumentary system, the skin. In the skin, there is a control system. I have told you there are muscles, there are glands which are a control system, which decrease the temperature when it is needed to be decreased. They increase the temperature when it is needed to be increased. So in the external environment, the fluctuations, the changes are very wide. Wide changes, wide fluctuations in the external conditions are taking place. These control systems will try to minimize these external fluctuations, and external fluctuations will become narrower. And again, inside the cell, in the body, this is the cell of the body. Inside the cell membrane or plasma membrane, again there are control systems which decrease the temperature in more narrow range, and this narrow range is the tolerable range. This is that range which is tolerable for this cell. So this is how the homeostasis is maintained in the living organisms. 2 or 3 more definitions in this topic are: first thing is feedback mechanism. Feedback mechanism. I must say, the physical as well as biological control systems work on this mechanism, work on this process, which is called as feedback. The word feedback means reaction. The word feedback means response. They act on the feedback mechanism. How can we define the word feedback mechanism? What is the feedback mechanism? A mechanism which is controlled. A mechanism which is controlled by its own products. A mechanism which is controlled by its own products. What is feedback mechanism? For example, the islets of Langerhans produce insulin hormone. Insulin hormone is the product of islets of Langerhans. This insulin decreases the glucose level of the blood, and when the glucose level of blood becomes decreased, the insulin, this decreased blood glucose level is detected and insulin production is stopped. So the product insulin did the job, and then that performed job become the reason for the main islets of Langerhans to decrease its production. This is what is called feedback mechanism. Mechanism which is controlled by its own products is called as feedback mechanism. As I am teaching, if you are understanding, I will give you more and more lectures, and this is called as positive feedback. Positive feedback means the response or the feedback enhances the original activity. The original activity is enhanced by the response. This is called positive feedback. In biology, we can take two examples. For example, during delivery, the oxytocin hormone is produced. This oxytocin produces the contractions in the female body, in the body of female, in the uterus. When these contractions are produced, more oxytocin is produced, which enhances the contractions. Mean the oxytocin was the product which enhanced the original activity, means produced more and more oxytocin, due to which contractions become more intense and delivery is done. Second example of positive feedback can be given when a blood vessel is injured, when there is a cut in the blood vessels, the platelets arrive at the spot. They start stopping the bleeding. They pile up over there. They produce a chemical. That chemical attract more platelets to that place. The platelets pile up there, and finally a clot is formed and the bleeding stops. These are two examples of positive feedback. Now we'll see the negative feedback. What is negative feedback? The response decreases original activity is called as negative feedback. There are many examples of negative feedback. For example, when the external environment is hot, the cooling mechanism of the body is on, and when the environment is cool, the heating mechanism of the body is on. This is called negative feedback. Many more examples can be quoted as negative feedback. This was all about today's topic. Subscribe our channel and push the bell icon button. We will be with you very soon with the next lecture. Thank you very much.